It's a little bit. Okay. Good. Likutei Halachos, Teffilin, Halacha Vav. We're holding on seafood base. זה בחינת אכילס מצה ואיסור חמץ בפסח. שנאמר בתפילה. Now Nosen is showing the principle, of resurrection and the union of Chaim Nitzchim and the union of being under auspices of death, and the change from one to the other in other things that are written in the Pashas of the Tefilin. And a classic one is the Achilas Matzah v'Yisur Chometz b'Pesach. שנאמר שבע סיבים תאכל מצות, מצות יאכל, לא יראה חומץ. This is like this. כי צריכים לקדש את אכילוסו מאית. You have to sanctify your achilah to a very great extent. This is why כי עיקר המצווה נגזרה לדחת האכילה. The main reason why death was decreed to begin with was because of the sin of the achilah. דהיינו, על ידי שאוכל אדם הראשון מעץ הדעת. ועיקר המיסה בכנסת גברוס הישוס והגסם של החומר, and the essence of death, death is the outcome of the fact that the gashmius, the crude physical, the material nature of the body overcomes the anova. It overcomes the anova. The anova is a spiritual state of existence, one that you don't even need to eat and drink. There's a limudim that you don't even need to eat and drink to live. But through the achila, what happens is that the gashmis of the body overcomes the tzura, the anova, and this is pchinas misa. This is the essence of death. As it is said above, he said that the real true life, the eternal life, is the natural humbleness of Moshe Rabbeinu that exists in every ever. In other words, every single limb, every single nekuda of metzias of a person, there is there lying dormant the capability to recognize the relationship between you and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to be aware of the mitzvahs of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and to be aware of your essence as a human being, as a created, standing before His Creator. That's like the highest madrega that there is. That's the highest nakuda that there is. And every single ever, because every single ever, the tzura of every ever, the design of every limb, sinew, and is a ruchnisdik inyan. It's a spiritual inyan. So mitmele, it has the capacity to recognize Kodesh Baruch Hu, to recognize, who you are vis-a-vis the Kodesh Baruch Hu, who's your creator, which results automatically in humbleness. This is intrinsic in every ever. So this is velefech. The misa is the opposite. This is the disappearance of the humbleness, because the humbleness itself is ayin. What does it mean to be humble? That you hold yourself to be nothing. The anova is pchinas ayin. That this is disappearing through his gablus hayesu shalachomer. The isness, the material crassness of the chomer. Shu pchinas geus. That's pride. Pride is a sense of self. The sense that you're separating yourself from a Kodesh Baruch Hu. And how does pride come? Pride comes, it says, I am for myself, on my own. I don't need anybody else. It says, v'gam begashmius is ikar hamitzvah is gabrus haguf al hanefesh. Even in Gashmius also is this gabrus of the body over the nefesh, a chomer al tzura, the material over the essence. This is the overcoming of the isness, of the material essence over the ayin. You can't say nothingness. because it's because it's not nothingness. Ein is not nothingness. Ein is nothingness that is pregnant with possibility. It's not barn. It's not empty. It's like, when you want to invent something, you want to think of a chiddush, you want to find the teretz on a kash in the Gemara, or anything else, and you don't know what it is. So you can ask, so what do you have in your head? What do you have in your mind? You say nothing, but it's not a nothing of nothingness. It's a nothing that is a harbinger of the teretz, of the yesh.
Bittul. The form of bittul. It's complete bittul, now allows everything to come in.
No, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about like chalapanai. Chalapanai is a nothingness that is pregnant with possibilities. That's what the Rebbe says, that it's a paradox between two bechinas. There are two types of nothing. There's a type of nothing that is empty, and there's a type of nothing that it's just the isness is not evident. That's the choshech al omek hamusag nemo. The darkness is a way of expressing the depth of a comprehension which is beyond you.
But Chalapani is referring to something negative.
Not necessarily. Within the Chalapanoi, Chalapanoi is it has obviously the aspect of negativity, but nevertheless, it's the Pchina of Esav is in there. But nevertheless, the Chalapanoi is a thing that enables the Bria. So there is even the positive in the Chalapanoi. Without Chalapanoi, it wouldn't be possible.
But the ayin is referring to something else. The ayin is referring to the anivus. The anivus in Moshe allows for the light to shine through.
Right, but it's a nivus, it's a nothingness. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking for a word that will
being about yourself. The Gamri allows for the light to shine.
It's what you're saying is true, but in a sense, I'm looking for a different word. I'm looking not for an action, there's a human action. I'm looking for a definition of a state of where nothingness is not emptiness, but nothingness is, as we said, it's a pregnant nothingness, which is when you're saying that the Ein Sof is called Ein also. It's not because there's nothing there. It's because there's nothing can be perceived. So since you cannot perceive anything, we call it Ein. Okay, but to Ein it means nothingness. It's which means you perceive nothing because it's totally beyond you. But it's not that there is nothing. So it's, I don't have the right words for it, and my mind is not, didn't eat my spinach today, so I know, the gears don't mesh yet. So he says, it's gabul zachom chesa yeshus ala ayin ad shemusrachas a nefesh latzes velis'al and betachlis ha'elam, until the nefesh has to come out and disappear completely. This is all something that's brought to reality, to existence, from the eating of Etz Hadas Tovera. The main vitality. This is how a person gets it. He gets it through eating, as we said in Kinira B'chush. That's why you need that the achila should be with sanctity according to the Torah. When what you consume is subjected to the decrees of Torah, it becomes a conduit to the Torah. Then the achila becomes a bridge to bring you over the kedusha from the Torah. The Torah is the essence of Chaim Nitzchim, of eternal life of the Elma Boshu Anova Amitis, the true Anova. ועל כן באמת משה רבינו עליו השלום, משה רבינו שזוכה לנו בתכלס, that he was able to Anova, to a beetle, to such a degree, in such a complete some perfection in his life while still alive. על כן לא צריך אכילה כלל, he didn't need אכילה altogether. והיה בהר 3 פעמים 40 יום, he was in בהר סיני 3 times 40 days, ולחם לא אכל, didn't eat bread, didn't drink water. כי כל חיוס היה חיים אמיתיים, his entire חיים was חיים אמיתיים. שהם חיים נצחים של העושית, this is the eternal life of the future, שהם הנובה אמיתיס, that's the true הנובה. אבל שאר בני אודום צריכים לאכול כדי להמשיך חיוס. Then other people, normal people, they have to eat in order to draw חיוס into them. בעיקר החיוס, הנמשך על ידי אכילו, but, okay, so now I have to understand what's the principle behind eating that brings about that חיוס. It says, עיקר החיוס נמשך משורש החיים, שהם החיים נצחים של העושית. Really the chiyus that we get through the food is derivative of the eternal life that we're going to get in the future, which is the true anova. That is the thing that will give a shu b'chinas ein. Ki achile, what does it mean achile? Shu mechale amachal legamre. When you eat something, you devour the food, you finish it out, you digest it, you totally demolish it. And through breaking down the food to its very essence, this is, you sift out, you choose out, you pick out from the food the inner chayas that is in there. This is the heilige nitzos which are in the Shem Ruchim legamre. They are totally spiritual. And b'chinas ein. They're b'chinas ein. In other words, even the nutrients which we call, it's also gashmias. But the actual chiyas that connects the body to the neshama to the body is total chiyus. It's total ruchnis. It's total spirituality. It's b'chinas ein. You can't measure it. The truth is that the thing that sustains a person is not the gashmis of the food. It's ultimately everything becomes psolos gamul. It's being totally pushed away, whether before it goes into the cells or after it comes into the cells. The vitality which is in the food, which represents the ein, b'chinas anova, which is the essence of anova, b'chinas chaim nitzchim, shimsham shoresh chaim. This is the essence of the eternal life. This is where the root of life. And somebody that actually consumes food, that has no mixture of impurity, bevada he lives forever. This is that men will eat and shall live forever. Shem tzadikim amitim shem chaim v'kamim tamid la'olam v'nam esim klal. This is tzadikim. This is tzadik oichel le'sov v'nafshoy. The Noam Elimelech says it, and all the Sfarim HaKadoshim repeated that the avodah of the tzaddikim, the to be by the tzaddik when he eats, is even greater. In some sense, it's greater than when he's saying Torah. Because when he's eating, it's like the machal pulls down and the tzaddik pulls it up, and the avodah of the tzaddik during the achila is. Of Chaim Nitzchim, the Birurim of the Chaim Nitzchim.
Or when you're eating?
I don't recall exactly what it is that they say, but and the eating by the tzaddikim, tzaddik oichel esov nafshe, that Reb Nosson, I'm talking about Rabbeinu, Reb Nosson said that by him, not about Rabbeinu, by him, that his achila is b'chinas tzachtzachos, that his achila is the kind of the heoros that the neshama gets in the olamus, which is beyond nefesh ruach neshama. me'ol ma'asis elam tzachtzachos. It's like the clean should be clean. You know, the cleaning the neshama. It's a, you know, it's people don't realize the little things that Reb Nosson every once in a while, you know, that slipped out. You know, when he spoke about himself, Mamas, because Reb Nosson was tachlis anova. He was like, he was total schmat. Somebody once came to him and cried for him for parnasa, and he this and he this and he that, and Reb Nosson had an apple by his table. The guy was Bo, Sham, Zeh, so I said, you know something, so take the apple. Because I looked at him like he's crazy. What do you mean take the apple? What do I need apple for? I came to cry to him with parnasa, so you're crying about apples. He didn't want the apple. Another person came in, and he also, we were speaking about parnasa problem. So I said, so you take the apple. So that guy took the apple and became very rich. You know? So I heard it from Reb Shlomo Sheikh many years ago. Yeah, so.
The schus of
No, Reb Nosson was not a...
no, but the schus of the person that feeds those thousands of people Numan by the tzaddik, you know. Schus.
Maybe they probably got an apple from Reb Nosson.
A bushel.
Yeah, not a bushel, you just need an apple.
Just need one,
Shem tzadikim amitim v'chai la'olam. When a person eats properly, then he is chai v'kayam tamid la'olam, and they never die klal. K'mo she'omru Chazal, tzadikim Yisrael sam kurim chai. The tzadik, even after he dies, is called chai. K'mo she'amar Rab Shimon bar Yochai kodem istalkulu. So before he passed away, he said, Shani hanei dikron chaim. He says, different are those that are called chaim, they're called alive. K'mo she'omru Chazal. And Chazal said, Yaakov Vinu mes. Aval derech chet Adam Harishon, because of the sin of Adam Harishon, s'arvu kol hadvorim. And everything became, you know, nothing is pure anymore. Nothing is pure anymore. Everything is a mixture. Mechmas ha'ta'aroves yesh ba'achila, because the achila is impure, it's contaminated. Ken אי אפשר ליזום מאכיל של קדושה בוי. שבחינה הנובו, which is the essence of הנובו, ועין, קימל די התורה הקדושה שומרת את הדבורים. Because everything is a mixture, so if it's a mixture, you have to separate the good from the bad. So the first beer on everything, what yes, what no, is al pi Torah. The Torah says this you should eat, this you should not eat. So being that when the machal was before, it was simple. There's no need for birurim. There's no need for, everything is mixed together. I mean, everything was separated, but now that everything is mixed together.
Why is everything mixed together? Don't we know what's
Because after this is after Achila Isadas. Torah became intermingled. The only way that you can eat it is through the Torah that is mevara, that ascertains everything. Your Torah is inside my stomach. And by making a bracha before, I make a bracha after. All these, that the machal is kosher, that the food is kosher al pi Torah, and you make a bracha in the beginning and a bracha in the end. All these are tools to sift and purify and ascertain that you're actually consuming what you need to. And even after all this, in other words, you're eating al pi Torah, you're making bracha in the beginning, bracha at the end. Bracha in the beginning that prepares the machal, bracha in the end that once you already ate it, is helping the machal in your stomach already. Even so, you cannot live forever and you have to pass away. It is impossible to make the bear perfectly in your life, except when going back to the offer, to the earth. There's a big difference between achila. Eating, nevertheless, eating al pi Torah is ikir chaim. It's ikir chaim. Because it's not just taking the food from the Gashmiya side of it, but it draws into the food the Chayes from its spiritual source. Shu B'chinas Chaim Nitzchim, it is the eternal life. וזה שהזכיר אדוני אומר רבנו ז"ל לעניין להכיל דווקא לעניין בושה. And he says that Rabbeinu says the inyan lachila dafka, the inyan of embarrassment. We'll see it. Again, Masha Katzar al Posuk Misham Chafal Oichel, and he said from there he dug food that says in the book of Eov, the book of Job, Sheroi Shiela Odam Busha Lochel Machal Nefiv, that a person should be embarrassed to put the food in his mouth. A person has to draw upon himself great embarrassment b'shat ha'achila. כדי לזכס אז די כלחיים נצחיים, שהוא הנובה שנמשך על ידי הבושה. He says the anova, the humbleness comes from busha, from embarrassment, but it's embarrassment from the aspect of shyness, not from the essence of. The truth of the matter is that chasachan, if a person doesn't have error, the embarrassment also comes of realization and exposure of how wrong he is and how wrong he was. ואז לזכות דווקא אז לחיים נצחי שהוא הנובה שנמשך על ידי הבושה. That's what the Rebbe says, that dafka by eating, a person should be embarrassed while he's eating. This anova, this Rebbe is by shonim ne by shonim. It is this embarrassment, this busha, this shyness, which is a realization of your smallness. That is the magnet that brings the Chaim Nitzchi.
The busha.
Yeah.
It's such a yisoid. It's one of the biggest yisoids that I've seen.
By shonim and by shonim.
Yeah. It's such a big yisoid. The busha is the Chaim Nitzchi.
We said a few times that first of all, the Reb Nosson and the Rebbe were all the time said Reb Nosson was read Bechlal, but the Rebbe he was sitting there and he would blush. He was just blushing. It was like constantly blushing before Kodesh Baruch Hu. He was just blushing all the time. And this is the Oir Teffilin. This is the light of the Teffilin. Now the Teffilin is when you realize this the Anova of Moshe Rabbeinu. This is what is the Anova of Moshe Rabbeinu? What is Moshe Rabbeinu reached the pinnacle of realization, as we said before, that I'm a human being and he's a Kodesh Baruch Hu and I'm in front of him.
See, the masveh really takes on a new meaning. Mm-hmm. The masveh that Moshe would wear,
that's right,
was not just to the light shining, but it was also the busha.
Bevadai. What do you do when you're embarrassed? You cover yourself. Bevadai. I mean, it's like you're sitting, imagine like you're sitting, in a television studio, and turn on the cameras, and you feel that everybody looks at you. It once happened to me many years ago, and I remember that I was frozen with like, what is going to happen if I suddenly I'm going to pick up my nose? I'm going to pick my nose. Something everybody's going to see it. Because in my own house, I don't have problem picking my nose. In front of everybody, and live, whatever it is right here. Hey, I don't mind putting tobacco in my nose, but...
You're in front of the camera now.
It's okay. No, I'm saying that. I can always edit it out.
Being safe for posterity.
Yeah.
But when you realize that you are viewed, that everybody's looking at you, I mean, you're afraid to move. You're afraid to move. Maybe you do something, you scratch yourself. I don't know what. Moshe Rabbeinu was totally realizing that Kodesh Baruch Hu is with him and looking at him all the time. The Rebbe says that the only reason why we have problems with davening is because of chisaron be'emunah. That if a person would have believed properly, the Kodesh Baruch Hu stands upon him and listens to every word that he says, he would daven like, forget about it. So that realization is this source, this total cognition I'm standing for Hashem right now. He's right here. Is the automatically the result is anivus, is humbleness, is embarrassment, is shyness, is he says the ikir is b'shat achila, because through the achila, when you're embarrassed b'shat achila, because also the achila, and the Rebbe says that the person should be embarrassed to put on film. He says, what, suddenly you're taking the keser of the melech and you're putting it on your head? I mean, how can you do this? You're going, to the London Tower, taking the Queen of England's crown, boom, you put it on your head. Hey guys, shoot it and put it on Instagram or whatever. Look at me. Who are you? Kal v'chomer, the Rebbe says that there was a person that was going in the shul, was collecting tzedakah. The Rebbe says that even the noise of the coins jumping in the hand is azus, is brazenness. It's prodding. Taking food and eating is total brazenness. You're taking it from the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Yes, you're saying a bracha. Yes, Baruch Hashem, you're saying a bracha. But it's total brazenness to eat.
The azus is that's the aspect of the azus. Is the azus is that you're feeding your nefesh bahamis.
It's mimela like that. You're talking about the premise of the same thing, but it's mimela is like that, because what is the thing that you're not aware of Kodesh Baruch Hu? You're basically aware of Kodesh Baruch Hu, but you're not really aware of Kodesh Baruch Hu. It's a I believe, and then you're taking, but when you're taking, There's no, there's no holding back, there's no tomorrow, boom, boom. That's it. So eat enough azus. So with the azus, to eat with a busha, sometimes you can feel it after tinus. That you're embarrassed to go to eat. Whatever happened to you? You finish the time, you have to eat, you're hungry, but you feel like, what, I'm going to eat, what, it's coming to me, kilo? Why? Because during the tinus you can acquire the kedusha, a little gefühl of this brazen aspect of taking food and putting it in your mouth. And that busha is the thing that uses the machal to bring into you chayos from chayim anitzchim, from eternal life. And he says, ki bevadat tzchim lamshich al tzmo busha gdola b'shas achilo. A person should draw upon himself great bush in a time of eating. The dafka then to be zoiche to the eternal life, which is total anova, total humility, humbleness, that comes through, that natural shyness and embarrassment.
It's not the food that brings the Chaim Nitzchim to the busha, but it's the busha that you conjure up at the time that you're eating. It's the busha that gives the Chaim Nitzchim.
The food is the pipe. The food is the pipe.
The trigger.
The food is the pipe.
The
busha is the vacuum machine. You connect to the pipe.
The food is the pipe?
Yes.
Or the food now provides you the context to feel the busha that you have to eat. And
the fact that you're eating, the fact that you're eating is the thing. The fact that you're eating is the action of achila, and this kind of brazen taking, which Lemaisa brings about the action of the result of busha.
Right.
But the Rebbe says before that the oichel is the bridge that brings the chayes from the Torah, the machal al pi Torah. It brings the chayim nitzchim, which is in the Torah. That's the source. The machal is the bridge. It's the tunnel. It's the
bridge
pipe.
because it causes the busha.
No.
Or
It's the thing that brings the food itself is the bridge that brings
taking
with
out
it
the nitzotzes.
that carries the nitzotzes. That's the. But the question is, how do you get it out of the machal now? That's the busha does that. So if you want to have some kind of dogma, mashal, so what you'll say is that the Torah is the reservoir of the Chaim Nitzchim. The food is the pipe that comes from the Torah, brings it to you, and Shacham, and the busha is a sense of lack, the sense of worth of ayin, is that the pump that draws the Chaim from the Torah through the food into you.
Which makes sense, because basically you have to make yourself a kli
That's
to
right.
makabel.
That's right.
And the only way you could do that is by...
B'chinas ayin. But and again, a busha is b'chinas ayin again, but it's b'chinas ayin with a volition. It's ayin with a volition. The opposite of the keser, which I said before, is b'chinas ayin with content, which is full. The Rebbe said that we cannot understand when we're saying a b'chinas chalapanoi, that you have to say two opposites on it. You have to say that it's empty. You have to say that there's a lakus there. It says, and you can reconcile the two. So it says until lasid lavai. So you have two b'chinas ayin. You have an ayin that is completely full, but it's still not evident. And you have on the other side, you have the b'chinas busha, which is b'chinas ayin, which is another, which has the yearning to receive. It's a vacuum machine.
It's like the difference between I am Mekon Kavoda, I am Mekon Kavoda, but I am Siloila.
Okay. Even though I always understood that selo oilo, aya selo oilo means the se is oilo to aye. Not that it starts with aye, but it makes sense because korban is l'rtzonchem tizbechu. It's an expression of a nothingness and of emptiness that it's full with yearning. It's full with yearning. Because this is each side is וזה שהוא בחינת תשובה כמו שכתוב בהמשיך יש לקדושה. ועל כן הזהיר התורה ביוסר שלו ולא יאהב על ידי גסוס על ידי אכילה. That was very particular, was very careful to say don't come to gases, don't come to crudeness, don't come to this heavy materialism. עד כדי כך the Torah says that if you eat korban pesach, in korban pesach achilah gaso, is that you're poging mekodshim. You're poging machal kodshim. Achilah gasa means you're not hungry anymore. So you're just stuffing the food down. So achilah gasa of kodshim, Chazal said is poging mekodshim. Is not only not mekayem mitzvah, it's gam mekodshim. וכן הזכיר התורה אכילה גסה על ידי אכילה, כמו שכתוב פן תאכל ושבעת ורם לבביך. כי כשאינו אוכל בקדושה על פי התורה, when a person doesn't eat בקדושה על פי תורה, אז אינו מאויר וממשיך חיים נצחים כנ"ל. He doesn't awaken the חיים נצחים. רק חיוסו עם הפסולס. Then he actually, the only thing that feeds him is the nutrients in the food. שהוא בחינס גירוץ, זה יש, גירוץ ורום לב. שהוא חיס וסתרי אחרא. That's the חיס וסתרי אחרא. סתרי אחרא means that, listen, this is all temporary. You eat, and after a while, kaputz kaya. שהוא במס מיסה, this is really death. This is really death. כמשה מקרא מיסה כנ"ל. This is the essence of death. מבחינס ורשעים, בחיים קוראים מסם. The רשעים, while they're still alive, they're called dead. שהאכילה כזו יש נאמר, on such אכילה, an אכילה that brings you down, נאמר כי ביום אכולך ממנו מוסטרמוס, from the day that you'll eat from it, you'll for sure die. אחמון ליצלן. על כן צריכים שעס אכילה להיזהר ביוסר. It is very, it's imperative to be very careful להמשיך על עצמו הבושה. To be very embarrassed then. It's the opposite of gourmet. Just be totally, embarrassed and
How much more you have to bring upon oneself busha when you're eating gourmet.
So there's
Maybe that's why I didn't have the herring yet.
That's where all the food gets stuck in my beard.
Although Shabbos is okay.
Unless Shabbos,
okay.
The Rebbe says Shabbos is
Eat.
something else completely.
Yeah, because everything is...
Achille Shabbos is cooler. It goes totally to a different place. This is not doesn't include Shabbos. So there's a nichia shiflus. This is the thing that brings to life the shiflus. When you come when you approach Achille with busha, that's the thing that brings to life the shiflus within you. You're starting to live. You live forever. In order to draw through such an achila these these eternal life, Shem Chaim Amitim, Shem Anova B'Sheitas. This is the true life, which is the Anova and the humbleness, which is within each and every person.
So now you could say, perhaps, that part of the mechanism of why food becomes an appropriate vehicle to bring upon oneself anivus and busha is because you're now feeding the nefesh habahamis. And because you recognize that you're feeding the nefesh habahamis, that brings about the busha of who one is. Right?
That's very good. In other words, what you're saying is that the feeding of Nefesh Habahamis has to be there, otherwise where's the busha coming from?
Right.
Very good. So that's just like the same principle of why there's choice, why there's ra, so you can stay away from it. If the ra wouldn't be there, what's it to choose?
Right.
Very good. That makes sense.
And therefore, if one doesn't bring the busha, then the one runs into the risk of ram levavecha. Because
That
now
means he's feeding
you're
off
feeding
the
your
ram
nefesh-
levavecha.
Right, exactly. Because you're not cognizant that you're feeding your nefesh habahamis. You feel that that's you. You're feeding yourself, but you're not feeding yourself. You're feeding the nefesh habahamis. If you're feeding the nefesh habahamis, you have the busha. If you don't have the busha, that means you think you're feeding yourself.
That's what we said. That's what we said. That it supports what you're saying. We said about Adam Arishon. Kodesh Baruch Hu said to him, when he ate from Etz Hadas, Tavera, and then he saw that he was naked, and he hid. So Kodesh Baruch Hu says, "Where are you?" And he said, "I hid from you because I realized, I'm naked." So he says, "Mi gid lecha ke'emata." Who told you that? Did you eat from the tree? In other words, the connection of Adam Arishon to Kodesh Baruch Hu in itself was a paradox, in the sense that Adam Arishon had a sense of self. He is Adam, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he's speaking to him. On the other hand, Adam Arishon had no notion of being a separate being. He didn't see that he was naked. To see that you're naked is only from the outside. It's not from the inside. The inside there's no under your clothes you're naked. So and this is the in of Moshe Rabbeinu that Moshe Rabbeinu retrieved, is this kind of Nosson says in Seif Ches, he says here that the in of Teffilin, if you remember, is Shem Shakai, Shem Shin Daled Yud, and Sheyesh Dai Belakusi Lechol Bria. That there is enough in my Lakusa every Bria. And he says that the essence is that people should come to a madrega k'mayim al mechasim, that everybody will realize that having Kodesh Baruch Hu is enough. I don't need anything. I don't need no cars, no food, no rechush, no money, no nothing. Just Kodesh Baruch Hu is enough. He says, but nevertheless, Reb Nosson says there is varikos lachem baruch ad bli dai, that your lips shall wither from saying die. So Reb Nosson says, I never understood what kind of bracha is this.
He says different, no?
No.
Shot that he gives?
No, this is the no. So he says, Chazal said, "Was his ad bli dai? Sheivlis yisoseichim miloimer dai." That your lips will wither from saying
that's
die.
a different shot entirely.
So Nosson says, what kind of bracha is this that your lips will wither? So he says, no. He says, but even this in of saying die, sheyesh dai belakus lechol bria, is a tzimtzum. In other words, it's enough for me, which means I have a sense of myself. Kadosh Baruch Hu is enough. I don't need anything else. It says this in itself, there's a mirror of dai. The dibur is a tzimtzum. It says there is a madrega beyond that.
Yeah.
Beyond dai. But how can it be beyond dai? How can you not lose your individuality?
But the pshat that he says is, right, Kretzlim Bracha ad bli dai, that how much herring could you have? Half a gallon? 20 packages on a Shabbos? And then, even though you love it, enough. But the idea of Kretzlim Bracha ad bli dai is that you're going to have bracha that's going to be such that you'll never say die. You'll never say that.
Yeah, but
Therefore, you'll be able to always have the bracha and always have more, and you'll never say enough. I can't handle anymore.
So Nosson explains. You're saying right, but Nosson explains that you said about in Olam Haba the tzaddikim, Kodesh Baruch Hu gives koach the tzaddikim to receive the shefa, to receive the or, because the Kodesh Baruch Hu is Ein Sof. Anything that exposed to Ein Sof disappears automatically. Is losing its individuality, its individual status. In order for any kind of semblance of individuality to exist, there has to be a tzimtzum. Up to here, the skin up to here. From here starts the rest of the world. This is where I start. So Reb Nosson says, and Reb Nosson says over there, I cannot speak anymore about this because this is so dakasdik, he cannot even talk about it. He says that the highest madrega that we can possibly understand in our human minds today is when you're saying you're so cognizant, of Kodesh Baruch Hu, and your metzias is shesh daila lekusa b'kol bria, that is for everybody sufficient. The Kodesh Baruch Hu is sufficient for everyone. You don't need anything more than that. He says Am Yisrael is going to be in a higher madrega than that. That even the tzimtzum of the dibur, that the dibur allows, the dibur is klei shefa, the dibur allows, even we will be even beyond that. And he says I cannot talk about this nekuda any further. He says each one according to the way that his heart, is able to fathom to.
To get back to the point you mentioned with regards to Adam Avishon eating from the Eitz Hadas Tevirah, it's a very good point, in that the achila there was not an achila of busha, because
it's achila surah.
Right. I'm saying because it wasn't an achila of busha, therefore, what does it mean? That the guf, the nefesh habahamis, now became a part of him. And therefore, that's why he says, that's why he recognizes now that he was, because beforehand he wasn't operating in nefesh habahamis.
Right. He was mamshich the misa on himself,
by eating,
because the eating b'kedusha
eating brings no busha, eating without busha.
Eating without it's a brazen eating. It's eating gashmias. It's bringing gashmias upon himself, and mimel is this kind of rarefied achila is best represented in the eating of matzah and the issa of chomes in the time of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Coming out of Mitzrayim, meaning that you're coming out of the barricades and the constrictions of Mitzrayim, of this life, and you're going into Chaim Nitzchim. You're breaking the barriers. Ki chometz yesh bo achilus hageres b'yosav. The chometz represents the isness and pride more than anything else. Ki chometz oile beneficho. How does the chometz? How does the dough rise? This air is introduced into it. The air is not. It's not the dough. It's the schwitz, it's the boasting, it's the kik mechon. They're kind of like, it's shubchinas geos. Shemalam romes atzma der ruach gavoa shebikirbo, that a person elevates himself and boasts himself through this prideful spirit within him.
This reminds me of the Gemara, which speaks about so that's the idea. The neficha, the air. That's
exactly what it is. And it also says that in Yechus Tefillah about the Isur Neficha, about this particular Indian. And being that Pesach is still before Kabbalah Sater, it is still impossible to subdue such a haughty spirit, because before Kabbalah Sater, after Kabbalah Sater, it's possible, because ultimately everything that Baruch Hu created, was created in order to subdue under the Kedusha and Adrabah, make it a platform to make the Kedusha ever greater. At Kedekar, it says, why is it called Chazir? It says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu lekashrusa. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring it back to its kashrus. בפסח עדיין כל קבלה סתירה, אי אפשר להכניע רוח גבוה כזה, כי עיקר ביטול לא ידע תורה. The main beetle of this ruach is through the Torah. שנמשך על ידי איש אשר רוח בו. So what you need to take the Torah, which is Mekor Ruach, the Ruach Elokim Melechel al Pnei Hamayim, and it says that Ruach Shel Mashiach. And the Ruach of the Torah, the spirit of the Torah, is being nimshach through the Ish Asher Ruach Bo. Ish Asher Ruach Bo is quite literally the man who is the conduit of the spirit, of the Ruach. A person that carries the Ruach within him. So Rashi says that when Moshe Rabbeinu asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he should put a manik for Am Yisrael, he says, put ish asher ruach bo, put a man that has a spirit in him. Rashi says, sheichol halach keneged rucha shekol echad ve'echad, that can walk against the ruach of every single person. In other words, every single person has this ruach, this ruach geios, this gaiva that he has. And the tzaddik has to countermand the ruach on every single person in a very measured way to be mevatel this ruach and to be mehapech tel kedusha. It says, כי עיקר ביטול על ידי התורה שנמשכת על ידי האיש אשר רוח בו, שהוא מבחינת רוח אלוקים. This is the רוח אלוקים, שהם הצנצת המוחין. That's the spark and domination of the intellect. מבחינת ואמר לו איש רוח אלוקים, and I shall fill him with the spirit of God. מבחינת ורוח אלוקים אחר בפני המים. Where is the source of everything? Ruach Elokim that hovers above the water. The water is the Torah. Ruach Elokim, this is Ruach Shel Mashiach. So you have here the Ruach Elokim that receives from the Maim, from the Torah. And this is how you mevatel, you bring down the Ruach Geus, the spirit of pride. Ruach Gavoya, this is a haughty spirit. Ruach Ra, this is an evil spirit. Ruach Shtus, a spirit of foolishness. Ruach Hatuma, the spirit of defilement. When you countermand that, then you are zoiche to a nova amitis. He says, when a tzaddik looks at you and he shines your gedula, what is the first thing that comes up? The first result is Chidush Torah. That's the first thing that comes up. This is the thing that brings about Nimshach Abusha v'Nichya Shifras v'Anova. That's the thing that brings about the Busha and the Chias of the Shifras v'Anova. Aval b'Pesach, b'Shas Yitzias Mitzrayim, when we're talking about Yitzias Mitzrayim, we were not zoichet to Kabbalah Torah. Al ken tzrichim as lizor me'oid michometz. Then, since it's before Kabbalah Torah, you have to be very, very careful from chometz. Sheyesh bo achizas haruach ve'ovesh ha'oim hazeh b'yoser. The chometz has the isness of this world. How do you make a good bread? How do you make a good matzah? Okay, it's maybe crispy, it's crunchy a little bit, it's not stale. There's nothing in matzah. It's just water and flour and that's it. But in bread, this is full grain. This is with nuts. This is without nuts. This is, the sourdough. This is, each one his own. This gashmius b'yoyser. That's the thing that blows it up. That pumps it up. That's the thing when the ruach ra, the spirit of isness, is grabs hold of the bread. Ruach gavaya, that's high, haughty spirit. Ruach hatuma, that's a spirit of defilement. Why? Being that we don't have the antidote that will bring it down, that will suppress it, and will subjugate it to the kedusha, then you're not allowed to eat it b'chlal. You have to eat dafka matzah shenefes b'chipozon. Dafka, you have to eat matzah that you have to eat very quickly. You have to eat it quickly. Something has to be prepared very quickly before the spirit of isness and defilement that is in this world can grab hold of it. We'll finish here and do a little Likutei Moharan. You want to stop the